will Gunna being labeled a snitch affect his career?
I think that's to be determined. I think it's definitely people looking at him different, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't know if it'll affect him because we already see the turn of that, right? We're on the other side of it in the sense that people already listening to this new album and they love this new album. Will he shake the title? I don't know. That remains to be seen because we'll see whatever. Thug got something coming out. We don't know who's on it. He also shared promo for it.
Yeah.
Maybe he's on it. I think a lot of people, if he is on it, are gonna kind of pit that against themselves because they have already taken such a strong stance and say, yo, fuck Gunna, we rolling with Thug, even though Thug's side hasn't been officially announced. Like, we don't know where Thug stands with Gunna. So I would just say it remains to be seen.
Right. I don't think it is going to affect him at all. Like, not much. I think that he's going to be fine. I think his label is still going to be behind him as long as he's like producing like good product. Like a music label don't give a fuck if you snitch or not. They just want to know if you put out good music. His peers, it's unfortunate, that there's taking sides and everything like that, especially in this situation. Like, at one point in time, like, there literally was the whole campaign, Warner Brother, stop snitching. And like now, pretty much like, people look at it that way. Gunna has his version of it where he's like, technically I didn't snitch, whatever, right? I just think that, and especially with the release of his newest project, like he still got one of his producers. He ain't got Weezy, but he got Turbo. So his sound ain't dip off. His subject matter ain't dip off, and it's the #1 album on Apple Music. So what's going to happen? If he came out and dropped a complete dud, then that would be a problem. But I just think that, he has a fan base and he makes music that people enjoy, and it's a vibe, and the summer's here. I think he's fine. I think it doesn't affect him at all. I think only way... you want to know what would be a big dick? If Young Thug comes out and says, this guy betrayed me and he's a snitch. Yeah. If Young Thug comes out and says that Gunna if Young Thug comes out and says Gunna betrayed me, he's a snitch. Don't listen to his music, don't rock with him. That might be a problem. But that will also be hurting Young Thug's pockets. Yeah,
I think in a sense, this is forcing a lot of people, because at first the conversation is becoming about like, well, I'm not a street person. I'm glad as a regular civilian I enjoy this album. Like, people are saying things like that. Yeah. So it's also making people realize that they shouldn't be saying shit that they can't relate to, or they shouldn't be involved in things that they can't relate to. Because people, growing up as an early hip hop fan, this no snitching thing was a huge deal. Huge. And then now I think there's a realization that's coming with this now that it shouldn't even matter to you if you're not in the streets and you don't live that street lifestyle. This shouldn't matter to you. So now people are just being more real with their stances.
Yeah. And so, that's what I'm saying. Like, on certain things, it's just like, people could say like, yo, snitching is bad, don't do this, but it's just like, does it really affect you? And then that's like where you could take it. But at the same time, like, there's some people that really stand on that, and they're just like, yo, like, nah, you don't snitch, you don't tell, like, no matter what, you don't condone it, all of that shit. And then you just gotta really think about like, all right, like, what do I really like care about or whatever like that. That's no different than like a person saying they still listening to R. Kelly. There's some people like, right? There are some people that won't listen to Gunna, but will listen to R. Kelly and champion R. Kelly.
Yeah, which is crazy. That's them old heads too. it usually be them old heads that know that street lifestyle, but then they can't separate certain shit, and it's just, y'all niggas weird.
Yeah, man. So let us know what you think in the comments. I would love to see what y'all think in the comments.
Yeah, let us
know if y'all think Gunna's gonna be alright.
Welcome to Rap in Order. the interrogation of a hip hop album, where we take some of the culture's most beloved hip hop albums, put them on the stand, see if they stood the test of time. Now let's see who we got on the stand today. Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
Today we're getting into an album that came out in 2020. Funny enough, when I recommended that we do this album, I was like, damn, this shit came out in 2020? Because we know how chaotic that was. 2 months later, obviously, we went into the lockdown. But this album still did its thing, despite us having like a dry spell with music and there being like a down period. This album still managed to stand out that year. Mm-hmm. This album still got heavy rotation. At the time, us at First Class, we were doing the free lunch playlist, and there were a few songs that made it on there at the time, like every other week or so. And this artist in general, he was just killing shit that year. And his affiliations, and then, obviously we know that, he spent some time away, 10 months to be exact, while he was away. His name was still out here. He got the Snitch label put on him. His mentor, so to speak, is still locked away. And if you can't guess, or if you haven't guessed who we're talking about by this time, we're talking about Gunna.
Sergio Kitchens.
What a cool ass name.
Yeah, right. Fuck Gunna.
Right?
Why is his rap name not Sergio Kitchens?
That's like what you call it? A Boogie. A Boogie's real name is Artist.
Yeah, like what?
Like that's your real name, bro? Like just roll with that. That shit is fire. But anyway, so Gunna. Talking about Gunna. Gunna released Wunna in 2020, like we said, and it featured Young Thug, Travis Scott, Roddy Ricch, Lil Baby. Production from his main guys at the time. You had Weezy, you had Turbo on here, you had Tay Keith on here. Really, really, really big album for him. And this was his second album. 18 tracks. What did you think of Wunna? Did you give it a listen back then?
I listened to it when it first dropped. I always listened to Sergio Kitchens. Mm-hmm. I always listen to him because I have younger cousins that are like in their 20s still and are big Gunna fans. Like they're huge Gunna fans. So they always like are talking to me about it in family group chat. So then I wind up listening to it so I can at least critique it and say if I like it or not. Mm-hmm. And with this project, like my cousins were really going like crazy for this album. I remember originally when it was first coming out, it was supposed to be called Drip. Mm-hmm. And like my cousins kept saying drip on the way. And I was just like, all right. Shout out to Dorian. I was like, all right, it's coming. Yeah, we'll get it.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. And I remember like just like the anticipation, and then like I think it got pushed back because he announced that it was coming out, and then it got pushed back, and then there were like I believe like there were like certain like clearances that was a problem or whatever. So when we finally got it and I listened to it, like I didn't. You wanna know the thing with Gunna projects that's odd for me? He makes great projects, like, but it's just that like you can't like. He's not I'm not impressed. Mm-hmm. Like he doesn't blow me away, but he makes good vibe music. Yeah, and he's just like a very materialistic guy. And he's going to talk
super
about
materialistic. Yeah,
just talk about being like he coined himself the best dressed rapper on the planet. Like that's just like his shit. Like that's just like how he gets down. Mm-hmm. And he's just like very like he sells being cool. So and it's funny because you think about it like it's kind of like what Jay-Z did a little bit. Obviously, like there were more layers to Jay. But at base value, it's just like I dress better than everybody. Like I'm the coolest and all of that shit, right? So. When I listen to this project, like I hate that. Like when I'm stuck in between, I'm like, I don't hate it, but like I don't love it either. But I know it's good. Like I hate being stuck in that, and that's what I got off the first listen. And then when I did the listen for this for this episode, I was just like, okay, like I get it. Like he created like a little niche in hip hop for himself, and him, Weezy, and who's the other producer?
You got Turbo.
Weezy and Turbo. Mm-hmm. So I think Weezy and Turbo are the architects of like what he's doing. Mm-hmm. Weezy no longer fucks with him, but Turbo is on the new project.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to ask, did you listen to the new project?
I
over the
did,
weekend?
yeah. Gift and the Curse, I think it's
Yeah.
called. Yes, I did listen to it. First time I listened to it, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I'm not in the mood for this, and I cut that shit off.
Damn.
And then I went back to it because I think I was trying to listen to it when I went for a run. I was like, I usually like breaking new albums in when I run because I'm fully listening, because I'm ignoring what I'm doing, the activity. I'm just listening and I'm just running. But I couldn't get into it. It just wasn't my vibe. But then I listened to it again. It's a good album. Like, and everything that's around it, you know, when you think about the case with Gunna, and seeing how shit is playing out, where everybody is kind of against him, and then you look at the album, you go from this album where you have all these fucking superstars. You got Thug, you got Baby, you got Roddy Ricch, you got Travis Scott, you got the Deluxe, you got Future, you got Nav, you got Uzi. So like you go from that to this album that he just released, where it has no features.
It has no features. It's literally just him.
It's just him. 15 tracks, and he's getting to it. He's talking about. He's still on his materialistic shit, like how you said with that's his whole shtick. But he has this other added layer to him as an artist, where he's like, well, it's me against the rest of y'all niggas.
Yeah.
Y'all don't fuck with me, but so
y'all
I know who my real friends
and
are.
Y'all can't fuck with me.
And I know who my real friends are. I know who fucks with me. And he still managed to get into a different pocket, and it's a good album. That shit was really, really dope. And I think it's unfortunate, but maybe this is what he needed to elevate him a little bit as an artist.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. What I think. I personally think that obviously the circumstances are bad, but this might be one of like a blessing in disguise. Let me say the best, not the best thing that happened to him, but it's a blessing in disguise for the simple fact that like now like his artistry might change.
Yeah.
So he might grow as an artist. Like his subject matter might change, because on this project, you know, he talked about being sad and dealing with like, you know, he's losing friendships. He like people looking at him differently. Like, you know, he might not be able to go to the same places. People that he thought were gonna be like his brothers for life and that he done everything with don't fuck with him no more. So I think that, you know, sometimes you got to go through loss to like grow as an artist. And I think what's going to happen with Gunna is eventually, you know, the label, he's an asset to the label. They're going to like try to like help him cross over and like probably like just make him more of in the lane of like pop artists. And not like what I'm saying, like cheesy pop songs, but like basically like a hook man, like a man that, you know what I'm saying, can like help other artists like craft into like what they're doing, and then like he just become an artist and like step away from like all the street shit completely.
Yeah.
I really see that happening, and I think it's a real thing. I think that he's just, you know what I'm saying, he's going to just move further into just being like Gunna the artist and making like basically like in like a realm of like a Will.i.am.
Yes. Okay, I could see that. And I'm just noticing, wow, I have two people on his latest album that I went to school with. Like as far as well, not school with. One I went to school with. Shout out to Omar Grand. Went to 144 together. And then Pooh, I went to school with his older brother. Rest in peace, Nunu. This is crazy. Shout out to them. That's cool. They doing their thing. But in the fold of Wunna, when it came out back then, 2020 was a rough year for obvious reasons. But like I said, like he kind of still pierced through. Like you could not escape Gunna. Like you just couldn't. He was everywhere. You know, Thug was everywhere, and the consistency was there for Young Stoner Life. Do you think? Where do you think? Actually, no. Never mind. I'll ask that later. We're gonna get into the album first.
You want to get into the album first?
Yeah, we'll get into the album first.
I was about to ask another question. I was like, oh, let's talk about the album first.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So, okay. What stands out for you for this album, in regards to like how his newer album is? Because you gave that one a listen, right? Compared to this one, do you think this one obviously was more flashy?
Nah, actually, no. I'll be honest with you. Me and LaShawn had this back and forth. Like LaShawn was saying that his sound ain't going to be the same. It's going to sound different. And when I listened to it, I was like, oh shit. Turbo like did what his part. Like Turbo did what he was supposed to do. It sounds like a Gunna album. It doesn't sound like it was missing anything. Maybe a Young Thug feature. And maybe a Young Thug. Like I always, since Gunna has come out, I've always anticipated to hear his features from Young Thug and from Lil Baby. That's it. Besides that, no, nothing.
Yeah, no, it still stays. Yeah. He still stays on track. I agree. I think for the Wunna album, it was kind of like when you listen to his new album and then you listen to the Wunna album, it is a lot of surface shit, you know. But he raps and he sounds really well. Gunna's not one. I will say Gunna's not one of those artists that you should be listening to for deeper content in any way. It's just a vibe. It's a very leveled out.
Absolutely, like literally a vibe.
Yeah, it's just a vibe. You play, and there's certain situations. If you're getting dressed, if you're about to go out for the night, you would probably play Gunna. Yeah, if you're on the beach, if you're with some homies, y'all having drinks, you could play Gunna. It's very situational vibes.
Yeah, like that's what he does. Like even like when people were asking like, yo, what is Wunna stand for? He was saying that like it's his alter ego. And in my head, I was like, what the fuck is the difference between Gunna and Wunna? Like nothing. Literally, he's just a play on his name. Like he was like, well, you know, Wunna is more focused and, you know, like he's really flashy because you know Gunna is just flashy. And then like he had like it's called wealthy, unapologetic, nigga, naturally authentic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, that's great, but like, bro, it's just you.
Yeah, it's just him.
Like, you know, like, what?
There's no difference.
Yeah, there's
and
no
I think down
ego.
the line in rap, too, the meaning of alter ego just got blend, just lost its meaning.
Lost its meaning. I ain't gonna lie, when I saw that interview, because there's a documentary on the Wunna project, I was so mad when he said that shit. Like, wait, what, my nigga? Like, no, like, there's nothing different about what the fuck between Wunna and Gunna.
Wunna.
What? Wunna wears Dior and Gunna wears Gucci? Like that? Like...
I don't know. I think somewhere down the line with rap, like I said, like it just lost his meaning, and he just made that up. He made that shit up.
He just like,
but he did say that family and friends called him Wunna. Like that was like his nickname.
I get that.
And it was just like, all right, well, lean into that more, nigga. Just say that.
Like, yeah, people called you that. Like
my homies called me that. Yeah. That was weird. But
I'm pretty sure Chris Brown's bros call him Briss.
Oh, Breezy.
Yeah, nah, they call him Briss.
Briss?
Briss Brown.
Oh, Briss Brown. Yeah. You're right. Briss Brown. For the Gunna album, any of your favorites? What are your highlights?
I can give you some of my highlights. Listening to it, Argentina was some shit that I really fucked with.
Same.
A lot. Like
I like Argentina. Great opener.
And it kicks off the album.
Yeah, great opener.
So Argentina was one of my favorites. Skybox, that was the first song off the album.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so like because I guess I heard that one so much, like I was like, all right, that one obviously does it for me. Blindfold, because I love when him and Lil Baby link up. Dollars on My Head, because obviously my man Mike Well made it. Fuck
solid.
With that one. And Nasty Girl on Camera. I just thought that I don't know. I just like it's a fucking vibe.
Yeah,
I get it. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. That those are like my standouts.
Okay. So for me, I liked Argentina. Argentina is fucking great opener.
Mm-hmm.
Rockstar Bikers in Chains would sound fire live. I wonder if he's ever performed that or if that footage is out there. I would love to see it.
There was a missed opportunity there for that song.
You think so?
Yeah, man. Why didn't you call Jim Jones and Joel Santana?
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of opportunities on this album in general that, like, when I hear shit, like Dollars on My Head sound like could have had Gucci on it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What you call it? What was another one? There's another joint that I thought should have had Uzi on it. But there's a lot of tracks on this album where I'm just like, damn, this would have sounded good with this person or that person. Top Floor was good, and I'm typically not the biggest fan of Travis Scott features, but Top Floor was really good. Wunna, title track, always important. It was solid in this case. MOTW.
Money on the way.
Yeah.
$1 million on the watch.
Yeah. It was either or for the interpolation of it.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of showed me that he was very focused on how he's putting this album together sequence-wise.
Yeah,
because the album just from here, and that's only 3 tracks in, but they just bleed into each other.
Mm-hmm.
They just keep going, and it keeps the mood up.
Yeah,
like it's dope.
In the documentary, like they were in Jamaica.
Oh, so when they made that?
Yeah, he finished the album. He finished the album, and like he just was talking about how he actually wants the album. Like he doesn't want you to like hit skip. Like he wants you to like play the album through seamlessly. Like it's just one big ass fucking mix.
That would actually, yeah. I always think about that too. Like if I was an artist, like don't shuffle my shit. Don't shuffle my shit. Even when I make playlists, I don't be wanting people to shuffle. So I can only imagine.
Yeah, like
that shit is all intentional.
It was very intentional what he did. I just listening to this project, it just gave me like a lot of like all right, everyone. As you guys know, I've lived in Atlanta for a little while, so it was interesting because I realized that as pop culture has become more prominent, right? A lot of stuff has come to Atlanta. A lot of influences like changed Atlanta. So with that being said, like hearing like Atlanta artists like rap about the things they rap about or things that like they care about it's so funny because I'm so far removed. Because when I lived in Atlanta, as long as you had like a fresh white shirt and a brand new sneakers or whatever like that, and you were doing those things, like you was fine. But like now, like it's elevated to like where like Atlanta artists are like going to like Neiman Marcus, they're going to Saks Fifth Avenue. Like that's why like Lenox Mall in Atlanta is such a big deal. Unfortunately, that's where like a lot of violence was brought as well. So dudes will be going there to get like new outfits, but then they'll see a nigga that they got beef with and they start shooting at each other on the site. So thank God that Fitz Plaza doesn't experience none of that, even though it's like right across the street from Lenox Mall. But you know, I realized that like every generation like improves. So like, you know, like they just started educating themselves more and more and more on what was like you know, something that they want to wear and get more drip. So when I listened to this project, it just gave me like that interpretation because like you got like your hood Atlanta dudes where it's like obviously they want to get fly and dress, but like, you know, not like the top tier labels of like brands and shit like that. Where you got somebody like Gunna, like he really wants to like really like put on like a dress, because usually like fat chubby niggas in Atlanta, like they're not worried about those labels. One, because they can't fit it, they don't make clothes that size. But like I guess Gunna, he can find his size in some of these brands, and like he's throwing it on, he's putting that shit on, and he's doing it, and he's taking risks. Like he's actually like taking risk, like, and not like Andre 3000 risk, but like, you know, like he's wearing shit that's like couture, that's on like the runway and everything. Like people making fun of him, but he's like, man, you don't fucking know, it's a $10,000. These are $10,000 shorts. Shit like that.
He lost a lot of weight now. And he raps about it on the new album about like not having lean in his system no more. You know, he was away for 10 months, so he had to get himself right. You know, not even on purpose. He just couldn't fuck with or keep up the terrible lifestyle of like eating or dieting or whatever that he was doing out. You know, when he was out here.
R.I.P. to Lil Pokey.
Oh yeah.
Like they say he dropped dead on stage.
Like the other day, right?
Yeah.
He's 45 years old. It's crazy. Young, man.
Yeah.
This shit is nuts. I think when, let me see, Cooler Than a Bitch. Oh, Cooler Than a Bitch features Roddy Ricch.
I actually really like how Roddy Ricch, his flow on this.
Yes.
Track.
Yeah.
I actually kind of wish he would flow like that more.
I wish that too. But it also had me thinking about Roddy too, in a sense where like 2020, he was on top of the fucking world. You know, professionally at least. And I don't know what's next for him. I don't know if people really care anymore. What do you think it is? I know when his what was it that came out that you was like raving about?
His last project.
Yeah, and you was like, yo, this shit, he redeemed himself or whatever.
He did, but I just think that it was a good album, but he'll never be able to replicate the box. And it's just, you know, sometimes when you have like a hit like that out the gate, if you don't follow up with something that like really, really catches people, it's over. And unfortunately, the box was a monster in its own, bro. Like, the box literally looked like a fucking Nike commercial.
Yeah, and even just that whole fucking album. That album was really, really good. And okay, what I wanted to ask you too. So we did mention that Weezy not fucking with him no more. Right. Why do you think? So is that directly tied to to the Thugger thing and the snitch perception?
Oh yeah, like there's actually like a conversation that got leaked. Somebody had a conversation with him with Weezy, and like they was just like, yo, like you still fucking with Gunna, and he was like, nah, I stand on business. That's why I think like this whole rollout that Thugger is doing with a hashtag is business
Stand on business.
Like,
Yeah.
and like cause like in down south, like I stand on business. I stand on business.
Mm-hmm.
I stand on business, y'all. Like that's like a term that's like, you know, something that's like said. So I think like they just like, yo, like you gotta stand on business. Like if we down here doing some illegal shit, you don't fucking tell. So I think that, you know, like and like Weezy's on that side of it versus where like Turbo's like, I'm a fucking music producer. I don't give a fuck about this shit.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make music.
Yeah. I think that's where it is for a lot of other people because I don't think Mike Will would not work with him.
I don't know about that.
You don't think so? You think so?
I don't think Mike Will give him anything.
I don't know, man. Mike Will produced the whole Miley album. He produced.
Well, he was sleeping with Miley.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Him and Miley have a deeper relationship, and I think Miley gets a pass because she's a white woman. I think that's why like Miley gets that pass. But yeah, I think I don't think you want to know who I think might work with him because he's always like held himself as neutral. Zaytoven might.
Okay.
Like Zaytoven is,
but
like,
that would be a big deal because Zaytoven's a Atlanta legend.
Nah, he is, but I'm just saying, like, I think, and not saying that Zaytoven don't care about snitching, but like he's never like he's a church dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he grew up in church, all of that shit. Like he don't get involved in street shit. So Zaytoven might look at it like, all right, I'm an artist, like I'm just gonna do it like that. But like that he's respected where like people don't give him a hard time with him like that. I don't see Metro fucking with him. Weezy, like, you know, like there's certain producers I know you just not gonna hear it. I am curious though, right? Like we see this rollout that's happening for Young Thug. I am curious to see like what this like are we getting an announcement because it's a countdown. So like I think now we're like we have like 2 days left. Are we going to get the project in 2 days, or are we going to get the release date for the project? Because he basically, when Gunna's album dropped, everyone started putting this up. Like, who put the scan code in their social media? I wrote it down.
Metro.
Actually. So let's see. Chance the Rapper, 21 Savage, Metro Boomin, Lil Durk, Weezy, 808 Mafia, T.I., Coil Ray. Gunna also put it up. And the hashtag is business is business. I'm curious. I'm curious about one thing and one thing only. Was this recorded before he went away, or was he able to record in jail? And if he's recording in jail, is he recording over the phone, or did they make a fucking studio for him?
I think it's probably a mix of both. So like, if he recorded it before, there's probably a lot of shit that's just not gonna make it because of, you know, it's a sensitive case, right? So he's probably gonna be saying some shit that can be used against him. So I do think majority of it is probably while he was away, because he has I think he does have access. Shit, he be tweeting and shit, so he gets access in some capacity. I remember when my brother was away briefly and he could like text. He was texting.
Oh yeah, I know dudes have phones in jail, but you think this nigga got a studio in jail?
Yeah, bro. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. But yeah, man, I wouldn't doubt it. These people, these superstars that get locked up, they get different types of treatment. Especially when they doing long bids. Yeah, man. I wouldn't doubt that he got I
mean, you know, hey, crazy things have happened. You know, I don't even know why I'm being this shocked by it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. But we just gotta wait and see. But to answer your question though, I think we'll probably get like a track list and a date on that day. And all these artists that are putting it up presumably are featured.
Yeah. Chance the Rapper couldn't wait to put that shit up.
Oh man. He can't wait to just catch one again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where it's at for him. I don't know if niggas is willing to give Chance another chance.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know.
Let me see. Anything else that I wanted to ask you? Killer Mike album. Did you listen to that?
Yeah, I did actually. Because I saw you talking about it, and then also I was just gonna listen to it anyway because he got some good features on it. I like Killer Mike as a rapper. Sometimes though. I don't like him too much. I don't know.
I know you don't like Run the Jewels, Killer Mike.
Yeah, nah, I don't like him too much. I like listening to I listen to him on JBP. I listen to his interview.
Yeah.
He kind of sucked the fun out of that podcast. Even though I like listening to him talk.
Yeah. I didn't get that. I didn't get that he was sucking the fun out of it. I just think that like he's already a big dude. So he commands mad respect and he takes mad shit seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But Killer Mike is actually like you know what it is? He's used to being the funniest nigga in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that like pretty much he makes everything like laugh at my jokes, don't laugh at me.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, cause I know what you're saying, but I think I understand. I be wanting to have that effect on people like, yo, don't laugh at me. I'll knock you the fuck out. But laugh at this joke I just told you. I want everybody to laugh at. That's Killer Mike.
That's Killer Mike for sure. But no, the album is very well put together. He got all the features are super intentional. We got a brand new Andre verse. We got fucking Dave Chappelle on narration.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I was impressed by it. I'll say that.
He went out his way to make this project. He went out his way to make that project something like special because like with Run the Jewels, I think even though to me like you know how I feel about Run the Jewels, but to me like is for some reason it seems like it's more for a white audience, and I think that he knew he had to make like a album more in light of like what he did with rap music, that project. And like he just made sure, like he was very intentional. Like he took his money and like invested into it, and like got like the features that he wanted, and like it's completely different from what we get on Run the Jewels. And I was just like, shit, I got so used to Run the Jewels Killer Mike that I'm like, oh, this is Frederick Douglass High School Killer Mike right here.
It is very different. I'll give you that. Like it's and I love the energy that he's on right now. Where I think when he was being interviewed by Joe said something about in reference to another album that came out that day. And he was like, yeah, word, but it's not better than mine.
Gunna, he's talking about Gunna.
Okay, yeah, it was Gunna.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, but it's not better than mine. And I was like, I like that. I like that.
It's just good energy. He was like, he was like, if that album is phenomenal, what is my album? Like he was basically just saying that, and I was like, I feel him. He was like, that ain't the nigga. Because they also was asking him what's the thought. They did right. They were asking him like, what's the temperature in Atlanta with all of that stuff going on. And you know, I just think that like him being like a elder statesman, like he like certain shit like just don't like that. Like
it's just over his head sometimes.
Yeah, like he just he don't.
Yeah, he's just like whatever. Like he's not in the street shit like that. He knows about it because he's an elder statesman, but he don't really divulge too much.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you that one. Right?
But yeah, I'm a revisit that. But then also I like that he did that he asked him about Gunna, and then also getting back to this one, right? Like back to the Gunna one. You got a really good verse from Lil Baby on here with Blindfold.
Yeah.
Baby has this way of like when he's featured on a song, it just sounds like a Lil Baby song. He kind of brings that to it.
I wonder, like, he's such a unique person to me. Cause like he ain't been rapping for 10 years yet. But like he's such an artist. And for me, like that's something that's like very, very like unique to me. Like I could be wrong, but like I want to see like other cases where that happens, because it's just like, all right, yeah, like LL Cool J when he first started rapping in 1985, he was 16, so he wasn't rapping for that long. Or like Nas, right? But it's like I don't look at like either one of them like I don't they were like looked at as like prodigies or whatever like that, like things like improve, but it's just very, very weird to me because like with Lil Baby, I don't ever think he cared about music until P came and got him out the hood.
Yeah. But I always listen to Lil Baby and I be like, damn, like we really heard that nigga for the first time on. Well, I heard him for the first time on Yes Indeed.
Yeah.
And his verse was terrible. And then just to see where he's at now, where he's like actually rapping, is crazy.
I think
and it's not that many years apart.
Yeah, I think that's just like because I think that he's always been a confident, cocky person. So I think in rap, I feel like rap is 90% confidence.
Yeah, that's true. You just gotta believe what you're saying.
Yeah, it's 90% confidence. So and I think like Lil Baby, he's very like confident. He's always kind of like been like the most popular person in like his circle. So it was very easy for him to just talk his shit.
Agreed.
Very true.
Another song that I really liked on here, you named already, Nasty Girl / On Camera, was amazing because I love when the track switches up in the middle of the album. I mean, in the middle of the song. That one is amazing. So I just wanted to name that one before I actually get into songs that you don't fuck with. What song did you not like on here?
Wunna, for sure.
Okay.
The title track I did not like.
Okay.
Wunna I did not like. Let's see what else. That one. No Gimmicks. I didn't really care for that one.
Actually, yeah, No Gimmicks. You're right. The flow is a little weird.
What else? Don't Play Around. I didn't even write anything for that. Do Better, blew mine. Do Better was some bullshit, Regg. Cause it's just like Gunna has a habit to make shit sound like it's very like heavy and like it's some bullshit going on. Like, all right, cool, you talking to one of Taz's angels and you telling her to do better because she's saying like she's not on her game. Well, no, let me take that back. She's not like one of those model chicks, and like he just like, yo, just do better. And it's like, yo, Gunna, who the fuck are you to tell somebody to do better? Fuck you. Like that shit just blew mine, bro. Like. You know, like basically he's like, oh, like you out here like fucking these niggas for free, like you got to do better, baby girl. Like, yo, Gunna fuck you, bro.
She not keeping it peace.
Yeah, yeah. I just like this. That shit big. I'm sorry. And Met Gala.
Okay. Met Gala I wasn't crazy about either. I give you that. Yeah. But I like Do Better. I like Don't Play Around rather. The Do Better for the melodies. Melodies are amazing on that song. Don't Play Around for the mellowed out vibe. What else did I not? What did I not like though? I think it was it Fiendin'? Oh yeah. Well, I just wrote that Thug would have took this another level on Fiendin'.
Definitely.
Fiendin' would have sounded great. The production was great on Fiendin', but I couldn't not hear Thug on it, and I was disappointed that I didn't hear Thug on it. Addies is cool, but that chorus.
You didn't. Oh, I was about to say the feature.
Yeah,
it's like his childhood friend.
Yeah. Oh, Nietzsche. Yeah. Nah, but the chorus was just eh. But I didn't. To be honest, even on the deluxe, there wasn't much on this album that I didn't like.
Yeah, it's like I said with Gunna, like he's just a vibey dude, and you know it's hard to like say like, all right, like I don't like this. It's just that you want to know what it is for me. Like I'm big on subject matter. Yeah. So I know. When it's not like sometimes like, and I might need to change that. Like I don't think I allow myself just to vibe out and relax to shit. And I think again, right? Like I'm gonna because I mentioned this in another episode where it's like I think. I identify hip hop too much with my personality, and certain things I just can't separate. So like if I listen to like let's say reggae, I'll just relax. I won't even fucking listen to the lyrics. I'll just let the vibes just take me wherever the fuck I want to go. When I listen to hip hop, I'm like, you gotta say something and you gotta mean what it say.
Yeah,
like, I'm very serious with it.
I listen. So there's certain artists once I figure out what they about. And I've talked about this before too. Once I figured out what they're about, I can kind of categorize them in my head. And some artists don't even like to hear their shit interpreted that way. And I get it. They don't like to be boxed in. But for me, that's just how I categorize shit. So I know if I'm doing certain things, I can listen to Gunna and I can just mellow out. If I'm listening to the fucking Larry June, I'm riding my bike or I'm running or doing something. If I'm listening, like it's just different people. Or if I listen to 21, it's like an escape route for me because he's doing something that I would never fucking do. He's talking about murder and he's talking like it's very colorful shit. Like it's it's imaginative for me, so it takes me to another place. So like when I think about it like that, I fuck with Gunna and I fuck with these new artists that are creative. Like they have to be creative. You're not just saying shit just to say it. And I gotta like see it. I gotta picture what you're telling me, type thing. That's what I fuck with. But I think we're ready for ratings. Yeah. What do you have?
I give this album a 3.5 waffles out of 5.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a middle of the road project. Like I don't think that I definitely don't think that this is like his best project. I'll say that much. But I just think like It was a good project. It came out in 2020. It did its thing, but I just think that and it's funny because like we in the middle of us getting ready to do this episode, the new project came out.
Mm-hmm.
So then that made me even more like it made me even more hard of a judge because it gave me some subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually
because he had more to unpack.
Yeah, he had more to unpack. Like I love when a motherfucker got something to unpack, get up their chest, talk some political shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I'm sorry. I'm a sucker for it.
So off that, I'm gonna do. You said 3.5?
Yeah, 3.5.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Actually, I agree with the 3.5 out of 5 for Gunna's Wunna album. I think this definitely showed his part of him as an artist that I do like. I like that flashy shit. I like when people just talk they shit, but there's not much depth to this, right? And it's not that I look to him for depth, but knowing, like you just said, what we got from the new album. The new album just felt good. There's a part to this new album that I really like where he's just in this bag of like him against the world, him just like kind of having to prove himself and being intentional about it, but also still being on that flashy shit. So it added another layer to Gunna that I don't think we got before, and I want to see him lean more into that. This album is still enjoyable though. Yeah. I would say if you're a Gunna fan, you should definitely visit it. Drip. What was the other one? Was it DS2? Not DS2.
Drip Season Forever?
Yeah, Drip Season Forever is fire.
Yeah.
I think if I sit with this new album more, it's probably going to move up the rankings for my favorite Gunna release. But I do recommend you guys listening to this. If you're a new Gunna fan, listen to this. Let us know what you think. Like, subscribe, comment. I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
We're out of here.
Catch you next time.
Dun dun.